Okay, folks, welcome back. When we last left off, I was finding a doodle that I made about 4 weeks ago. Let's see, no, 4 weeks ago was when I had the experience. Man, was it? I'm gonna be quite honest. 6:01. I guess it was a week ago. I'm. My brain is. Things have. So many things have happened in the last few weeks. I guess you have to forgive me. Um, yeah. So one, two, three. So it was probably 4 weeks ago that I drew this, and it was 2 weeks ago now. A little bit over a week. Yeah, somewhere between a week and 2 weeks ago that I was having this psychic, spiritual assault take place. Now I want to show you something that's gonna blow your mind. Well, maybe not. I mean, it blows my mind because I've always wanted superpowers. I've always wanted to be a wizard. I mean, ever since I was a kid, I always felt like I was a wizard. And you know, this is how I am. I can't talk cool and smooth without doing a lot of exercise or program it. And so what I'm trying to do here is archive this information on YouTube for whoever it may help out there, and also for me. So there's a catharsis for me of getting this out, and it's part of my life path to teach people. So that's what I'm doing the best way I know how. And what I want to share with you is this is kind of like come along on my journey. Yeah. So part of my journey here is I keep discovering. I don't know if I'm discovering more and more psychic phenomena or abilities or capabilities of my own, or if it's just that as I use my intuition and my power law of attraction and attract certain things to me, that it just comes and it gets greater and greater and greater, and it augments. But what I'm about to show you, to me, is another proof of, man, it's almost like I predicted something that I had no idea what it was, that I didn't know about. And I'm not the only one. I mean, when I researched it last week, I discovered, and what we're talking about here is this Grand Cross or Great Square. I've seen it called both things. But it has to do with the alignment of the planets, where four planets are aligned across from each other, in a magnetic gravity pull or whatever kind of keeps them in this tug of war until they finish going around and pull out a little further in their orbit. So it's also called the Cardinal Cross or Cardinal Square. So the interesting thing about this is, here's the drawing. This is what I drew about 3 weeks before I started having problems. Never heard of the Cardinal Cross, because as a skeptic, I think like a skeptic, and I try to eliminate other possibilities. And then I go a step further and say, okay, what is the skeptic's argument going to be, and how do I eliminate that, nip that in the bud before they even have a chance to raise that? And one of the first things that comes to me is, well, maybe I saw it somewhere along the line and my subconscious recorded it, because oftentimes skeptics believe in, they do believe their latest stuff from science, and science currently has ideas about what's it called? Subliminal messages and the brain's ability to perceive things on a subconscious level. Uh, and so yeah, so that's something that I would suspect maybe a skeptic would say about this. So that's why I'm basically being adamant about it. Never seen this fucking thing before in my life. Never seen it. And then when I looked up what the Grand Square was, after my teacher showed me in class, I looked it up, and then I went home, and it was kind of like, okay, I know what it is now. Put that aside. And I was going through my papers, sorting my papers, and I was like, and I found that drawing. I was like, holy shit, I drew that while I was on the phone with with my my intuitive friend, and we were just having a conversation about different things, and I was just bored. You know, that kind of makes me think maybe there's where's this at here? Maybe there's significance to other things that I've drawn that I thought were just doodles. Maybe I was inspired. Because, like, what's this right here? This right here is just a doodle to me. You see it? Get a little bit closer. This, it's kind of like a Milky Way galaxy thing or something. And it's got little balls on the end. And maybe like some snake teeth. I don't know. So yeah, that's just kind of making me wonder. It's kind of making me wonder now about. Well, I guess it's kind of making me mindful of paying attention to things that I doodle as scribbles, and to see if maybe this is a way that my guides are actually giving me information subconsciously. So anyway, that's one thing I want to talk about here. Another thing I want to talk about is, what is it? Oh, I'm going to talk about something technical that's not supernatural or spiritual. So I was trying to install Apache MySQL PHP on Windows 8, right? And anybody that does programming, you'll know that that's called the LAMP stack. Well, in Windows it's called the WAMP stack, but I had trouble finding information about how to install it individually yourself. I found a bunch of information on different sites saying, yes, you can have IIS, which is Windows's Microsoft's server for Windows that they have their web server that you get for free. Yes, you can have IIS installed on the same computer that Apache is on. So you can have Apache and IIS side by side on a Windows computer. And they were like, and here's how you do it. But that wasn't what I was looking for. What I was looking for was, how do I manually install Apache, then install PHP, then install MySQL? Or like the order, maybe there's a better order. But that's what my mindset was. That's what I'm trying to do. The opposite of that is installing a prepackaged server distribution package. Like there's several of them. One is called WampServer. One is called XAMPP with 2 P's. And I think there's one more. But for me, I remember in 2011 when I was working at bookit.com, I was down in Florida, and the supervisor expected me to install like Apache and PHP from scratch on a machine. That can't be right. Again, forgive me. I don't know. Something in my brain is like, that's not right. That's not exactly right. So maybe what actually happened was, when I was working there and interviewing on the side at other places for jobs, the tests that they wanted me to pass before getting to the next level of interview was, can you install Apache from scratch? And then how do you configure PHP into it? Well, let me tell you guys, my job desire has never been to be a network administrator. I mean, installing Apache, that's network shit. My deal is, I'm going to write the code. But for some of these mom and pop situations and some of these startups, they want you to know how to install the stuff because they haven't done it yet. And so they want somebody who has that overall understanding. And I have an understanding, and I've installed Apache on Linux. I've installed LAMP in a Linux virtual machine on Windows, and that's worked. That was with a good lynda.com tutorial, but no, I was not able to get stuff installed and configured, even though I was following the latest instructions from the most highly rated YouTube tutorials by average uh, Americans. You could tell by their accent that they were Americans. So I tried to post on Stack Overflow. I tried to post on Stack Overflow the other night, and I did end up posting on there. And it turned out I got a response back today. Yay! It turned out that I don't want to say there's a consensus, but there was a really good reply back that no, it's not impossible to install that stuff on Windows manually from scratch. But there's a lot of reconfiguring that will need to be done if you're going to do that, and that it could take up to 2 weeks. So that's good enough for me, folks. That response is good enough for me because I can repeat that to an employer if they want me to do that and be like, that could take up to 2 weeks. Um, and really, all I want to do is get my PHP environment set up so that I can finish developing my demonology page. I mean, Cristobal Dude's demonology page has been something that's been a dream of mine for at least 5 years. And in my mind, there's a picture and there's articles. And since then, I've seen other people have put up stuff that I had already conceived of. Quite upsetting, but it's upsetting to me because I know that I let myself down by not following, the inspiration that was given to me, etc. But I didn't know that then. I only know that now. I only can see the logic in the spiritual. I can see the spiritual logic now. Whereas then, if it didn't have like scientific, numerical logic, then it didn't make any sense for me. Now, speaking of numerical logic, okay, so to wrap that one up, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and I will install the WampServer, or possibly XAMPP. I'm going to give it a brief look and see what the reviews say, which one is better, etc. In fact, I think one of them's from France, so I probably would want the one that was American, wouldn't you think? So, for support reasons. So anyway, speaking of numbers, I started a business. Here's my business card. It's I may just try to make a picture, put it over top of this. Here's my business card. It's upside down. Oh, I gotta get this. We will continue.